So operations, CATIA V5, this will be regarding extract. Within my previous video I discussed boundary, and we're gonna see that these two will be quite similar. So let's take a look at the extract feature over here. We see that we have a recognition context over here, which is currently grayed. This will only be enabled depending on the propagation type. For example, if I will go over here for protrusion propagation, we're gonna see that now we can change between powertrain, body and white, consumer goods. And with this feature selected, there are some ranges for both fillets and chamfers that will be selected. So additional information regarding this can be found over here. So we see the chamfer range, we see the fillet range, and depending on those, depression and protrusion selections. Now, if I will go just with no propagation over here, and I will use the same plastic bottle, which is within the consumer good section over here, I will highlight shading with edges. And in this case, the extraction, if I will select, for example, this face, this will be extracted over here. As we can see, I cannot click over here to select additional geometry. We also have the extracted edge over here. We have an F over here that is regarding the federation. But if I want to do a multiple extract, we see over here that extract has elements. We need to go over here, and afterwards we can select multiple elements over here. If I will click OK, all of those will be selected and extracted over here. And we're gonna see each individual face. If I will delete those and I will redo the same selection, we also have the possibility to use propagations. So in this case, we can go with tangent continuity. If I will select this element, we're gonna see that in this case, the design has those tangencies and everything will be selected. We can also go with point continuity, but in this case, that will be the same. We can go with curvature, but as we can see in this case for curvature, I should remove that and I should select an edge over here. And we're gonna have the following curvature selection until we're gonna reach the discontinuity. And we're gonna see that the propagation has stopped. And we're also gonna see the reason why that stopped over here. So we don't have that curvature propagation over here. We have a small edge when we did that sweep for the design over here. We also have the depression propagation, but this should work again with faces in this case. So for example, if I will select this face with depression propagation, we're gonna see that everything will be selected. If I will go with protrusion propagation, only the inner side of this design will be selected. And we have this mirrored onto the other side, but we're gonna see how that will be extracted. If I will remove that face and I will add one from the curvature, we're gonna see that with protrusion and with body in white, we're gonna have the following selection over here. So we're gonna see that between consumer goods and body in white, there are some changes regarding the size. So we see that the consumer goods will go all the way up to 50 millimeters, but for this case study, the selection will be the same. We also have some selections for building. And we have over here high tech, which is the most precise extraction feature over here, as we can see regarding those values. What else we can do? We can use the complementary mode. This will actually give you the reverse of the selection. So in this case, if the selection with protrusion is this curvature over here, if I will go with complementary, this will give me the other selection. This is also most visible if I will go with no propagation and I will want to extract these four faces. And if I will click on complementary mode, we're gonna see that the selection will look like this in this case. So we have that extracted over here. If I will select only one element, With complementary mode, we're gonna see that we have either that selected or everything beside that selected over here. We also have the possibility to do that federation, which will link the extracted surface. They will have an F added over here, which will be that federation link. And we also have some thresholds over here, as we can see, distance, angular, and curvature. And those will change depending on the type of extraction. For example, if I will go with tangency, we're gonna see that we can change those. So I can select this. In this case, for tangency, I will not select a face. I will select, for example, an edge. And we're gonna see how, in this case, this will act exactly like a boundary. So if you haven't seen my previous video. But we can also change various thresholds over here. We're gonna see that the maximum value for the angular threshold will be 5. So should be less or equal to 5. And in this case, the selection will be the same for that curvature. Okay, so let me just discuss some aspects over here. So just like boundary, we can use extract both for curves, so both for wireframes and both for surface. So for example, over here, I can select one section of this spline, and that will give me, if I will click OK, if I will center the graph for this, we're gonna see the extracted will look like this over here. And afterwards, if you want to, we can also make use of this within other features. If I will select, for example, this one, and with curvature, we're gonna see the discontinuity over there. If I will go with tangent, it will give me this selection. So all of those will be tangent over here. So overall, these are the features within extraction. Within my following video, we're gonna take a look at multiple extract, which is quite similar to extract, but we're also gonna see what are the main difference between those and why Dassault decided to make two features for this. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I will position a similar video on the left side and the subscribe button to the right. So I hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching.